And welcome back to Lantern Corp videos. And today's Lantern Corp video comes from us from Nuscott. Now, I had already done Godzilla, and I had already planned to do Mothra and Kong, and they're all on the list, but Nuscott particularly has given me suggestions for this. So Nuscott asked for Mothra. And that's fair. I mean, Mothra would be the second runner-up, basically, to Godzilla. So it's really a matter of where do we think Mothra falls on the emotional spectrum when it comes to the Green Lantern, or the Lantern Corps. And that, right off the bat, let's get a couple out of the way right now that we know Mothra doesn't qualify for. Because Mothra is actually much different than Godzilla in terms of, A, what Mothra kind of represents, and B, how others perceive Mothra. Because some Lantern Corps rings actually are more about the perception you give towards others, i.e. things like fear or hope. So right off the bat, Mothra is not avarice. There's no way Mothra is ever. Mothra is not greedy. Mothra is a protector of Earth and people. Mothra is actually very kind and loving, so Mothra can't qualify for avarice at all. Mothra, although Mothra can get angry, Mothra is also not a rage lantern. I don't see that as a possible outcome. But obviously, as I just mentioned, one of the ones I think is very likely is hope. In fact, we're going to go through the big four I think she could qualify for. But I do think Mothra is a strong candidate for hope, because that is what Mothra is always bringing. Mothra is usually the hope of everyone else. Mothra is the one that Mothra instills more hope than even Godzilla, because Mothra is actually a very peaceful, kind, and loving creature that just wants to protect, whereas Godzilla is more of an anti-hero a lot of the time. Mothra, though, it will give her life again and again, and through the cycle of reincarnation is able to keep coming back thanks to the way Mothra functions. And because of that, everyone is just, Mothra instills so much hope for what Mothra does that I think hope is just a great option for Mothra. And one option I surprisingly don't think is Star Sapphire. Now, that's not to say Mothra probably doesn't have love in her heart. Maybe she loves the planet. Maybe that's what motivates her. But I do think it's also out of a sense of duty to some degree, because she's like a protector of the Earth and humanity. Similar to how Gamera is a protector of the planet, but it's not out of love, it's out of duty. So while I could see the argument being made, I do not think Star Sapphire. However, one thing I do think of is Indigo. I do think compassion when I think of Mothra. Mothra is very understanding. Has many conversations and insightful moments with the twins. He's just a overall very, understanding individual. That's why Mothra's able to, team up with other monsters so often to fight bigger threats, because Mothra is able to understand the bigger picture and is able to commune that with the other monsters. I do not think Mothra is a fear lantern, sadly. I don't think anyone's actually afraid of Mothra. It's not like Gamera, who is a giant, fire-breathing, plasma-breathing turtle who could turn on humanity. No, Mothra has, and so far will always be, a defender of humanity and the planet as a whole. There isn't, except for in that one movie where she did, I think, kill those kids trying to, I think, drown a dog or a cat, one of the two. When was it GMK? That was the Godzilla movie where Larva Mothra did in fact kill some kids. I think it was partly accidental though. But either way, Mothra isn't really a fear-inducing being. Plus, with other monsters, when Mothra shows up, most monsters aren't afraid of Mothra. So I really don't see that as the real avenue for Mothra to take. Another avenue, though, that Mothra can definitely take is a Black Lantern ring, and that is due to the fact that Mothra's died many, many times. It's kind of Mothra's shtick, honestly, to die and come back. It's just kind of the way Mothra rolls. So by that logic alone, she could qualify for being a Black Lantern. I also don't think, surprisingly, she could be. It takes a lot of willpower to do what she does, but I don't think will is the right core for her. I actually don't think that's the case. Even though I'm sure she's had to overcome great fear, and she's had to overcome Ghidorah himself. So, Will could work, but I just think the other four are better options. Last but not least is the White Lantern Corps, and I think the reason this actually works is due to the fact that Mothra is all about Mothra's whole lifespan is about rebirth and sacrifice and preserving life. So I actually think Mothra is a very good candidate for the White Lantern Corps, because Mothra is just life reincarnating itself over and over again to help protect more life. So now that brings the question, which of these four, indigo, white, black, or blue, is the best candidate for Mothra? And that's actually kind of tough because they're all pretty solid candidates in my opinion. What I would say, though, I will say right now, I think two of the ones I'd 86 out of here are indigo, because I think the hope Mothra instills and the hope that Mothra has, Mothra's connection to life and death are just stronger than the connection to compassion. But I'm also going to 86 death out of there because Mothra is old enough and smart enough to realize when something's not good, when something's dangerous, and Black Lantern rings are dangerous. I don't think Mothra would accept the Black Lantern ring. So that leaves us with the White Lantern Corps of White Life and the Blue Lantern Corps of Hope. And this is a little tough. Now, I do remember doing Godzilla's and saying I do think green is a possible, option for him. And blue and green lanterns do complement each other very well. That said, white is a much better option than, say, on Godzilla, just due to the fact that Mothra is kind of like the embodiment of life persevering. So, I mean, it's pick your poison. Do you think the fact that Mothra has to die hurts that? Or is it that the hope that Mothra has isn't as strong as the hope people have in Mothra? So basically, what hurts Mothra's chances to be one of these lantern rings more? And for my money, the fact that Mothra has to die for the cycle to just keep going, I think does hurt Mothra's chances to be a White Lantern just a little bit. Over the fact that even when Mothra's dead, the faith and hope and belief in Mothra perseveres on. So I honestly think Mothra is a very good candidate to be a Blue Lantern of Hope. I think that Mothra is a much more peaceful, much more not enlightening, encouraging force for good than Godzilla is in their world, due to the fact that Mothra is a much more gentle kaiju that doesn't go on destructive rampages most of the time. So ultimately, I would say Hope is a very good option. Plus, if you go into later incarnations of Mothra, her and Godzilla do have a much closer relationship than they did in the original Showa era and stuff like that. So, especially with Legendary, where they have almost a symbiotic relationship. So it would also benefit Godzilla and benefit Mothra to both have comparable rings to each other. Now, that being said, it's been a while since I've watched my Godzilla video. I occasionally watch my videos just to be sure what I did. And I don't remember what ring I think I settled on for Godzilla. I think it was either Fear or Will. I think those were the two options I settled on. But either way, my money right now is on Hope. But White's a very close second, then followed by Black, because Mothra has to die a lot. And then the Compassion ring comes up as fourth. So the Platinum, the Gold, the Silver, and the Bronze. Anyway, though, that is just my thoughts. What do you think? What Lantern Corps do you think Mothra belongs in, is most comfortable belonging in? Put in the comments below and let me know. But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, who wants to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Hit that bell if you want to be notified. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you folks later.